Listen, I get you. I totally hear your frustration, your desires, your goals. What is truly keeping you up at night? You're working this amazing job. You are giving it all that you have, and you know that something is missing. Something more is bubbling up inside of you. Something more is piquing your interest. You're seeing all the things that are happening in the headlines and all these things that are going on. And you may be like me back in 2021 when I finally decided to fully go into my dreams and what I desire and start building something for me instead of constantly pouring out and giving my all to organizations, to jobs, to careers that truly could never satisfy or fulfill me, which that could be a whole nother video to talk about fulfillment and where the source actually comes from. But for me, it was an awakening that I knew this corporate career is great, but there's more for me. There's something else for me. There is this autonomy. Let me tell y'all a quick story and out myself. When I was growing up, I was around family members, people, adults in general, that were going to jobs they hated, going to jobs that undervalued them, underpaid them. And why? Because what else could they do, right? They didn't see possibilities. They didn't have the courage or really even the knowledge of what it could look like to actually do the thing that you were desiring to do. These women, especially that I was around, are brilliant, could monetize so many different talents and things that they had, or at the very least go after jobs that actually align with what they wanted to do. But again, in the environment that I come from, and back then there was no social media, there wasn't many images outside of TV and movies that really depicted what a person could do when they took ownership and autonomy over themselves and over their careers. Now, me as a little girl and as a teenager, I started to dream and believe that what I saw in movies and TV could be possible for me. Now, I wasn't supposed to be watching this movie, but back in the day, my movie that started all of this, well, at least one of them was Boomerang, right? Robin Givens, you could not tell me. That's exactly who I wanted to be. When I decided that I was going to college for marketing, I thought that I was going to become Robin Givens in Boomerang. She had her own office. She was going on trips. She just had this power. It was like this embodiment that she had that I wanted. I didn't have the language for, at the time she was like a VP of the company, but I just saw it as entrepreneurship for some reason. I saw it for just taking ownership, doing your own thing. I know she had a boss, but it just didn't even seem like she had a boss. She got to do what she wanted. She got to work on exciting projects, and she just had this level of bossness that I wanted. So again, didn't have the language, but I was like, I want to be her. And I didn't see that around me, right? So as I was growing up, even before seeing that movie, as early as 9 years old, I just knew that there was some capability for me to do that. So I started off doing lemonade stands in front of our apartment building. We had a little hallway and entryway to go into all of the apartments in our building. And I turned that into a nail salon. I got my mom to buy me some business cards. Like, I was really determined to find different ways that I could make my own money, that I could be able to embody this person who can take what she has and turn it into what she wants. So fast forward, that was me. That was the seed that I believe was planted in me by God back then before I even knew what the language was. Again, there was no social media. I was into entrepreneurship at 9 years old. Okay. So that's how I know it was something destined for me. However, because of how the world works, I did the things that I was supposed to do. Go to college, get all these great job offers, paying you to move you here and move you there. And you get to choose where you want to go and start working up that corporate ladder. And that's what I did until 2021, when the world was partially still shut down. I had just had my son, and something started burning inside of me saying, you need to get back in alignment. Like, this was your dream. Like I said, this was not a popular thing that I wanted to do that I found out about later on. This was a desire in me for as long as I can remember. And because of my own fear, my own limitations, my own desire for a certain level of stability, which I honor myself for doing that because it allowed me to get here today. But it was time to return home to what that 9-year-old girl wanted. And that's when I started my business. Now, here's the thing. I didn't believe that I could use my corporate skill sets in business. I know y'all are like, what? This is crazy. When I started my business, I was actually managing a few influencers and getting them brand deals, right? So I was not showing people how to sell to corporations or any of that. That wasn't even something that crossed my mind, because although I had sold millions of dollars, built the skill set, gave the blood, sweat, and tears to figure out the process and made it work then, when I left, I was like, all the skill sets can stay there. I'm going out on my own to do what I want to do. And I shouldn't say left because I didn't leave corporate at that time. But when I started my business, in my mind, I had already left. I was building the framework and the process to get on out of there. Okay. So wasn't doing that. It wasn't until I started to share more of my story through the prompting of someone else who was like, why don't more people know about this? That I saw it wasn't just me who had skill sets and talents that could be utilized in business or in a corporate context, but there are other women who could do this as well. And the only thing that they were missing was the how and the courage to do it. And so then I started thinking, wow, if I could just do the same skills that I did to sell that company's services, to sell that company's products, going to meet customers and understanding how they think and getting all into this process as deep as I did, if I could pull that out and help other women do the same, how much could the corporate landscape be changed? How much can lives or businesses be changed when they understand that this expertise has value in the business space? So that's where this got started. And those two pieces about fear and courage are important for two reasons. I want to be clear that this is not just about the steps, because at this day and age, you can Google how to send an email, right? You can figure that out. You can, post some content on LinkedIn. Like, you can get pretty far just with what you know, because you're already brilliant. You already know you've accomplished so much, right? So that's not something that escapes you. After doing years in this work and also analyzing myself, you can't tactic or strategy your way out of being fearful. You can't tactic or strategy your way out of feeling like, well, I did this behind this big company and this big name. Do I have enough to be able to do this on my own? Can I get a witness, anybody? Let me know if this is a question that you might even have right now as you're thinking about, is corporate contracts for me? Are corporate clients for me? Because, this didn't work out in my corporate career, or, I don't really know what I have to teach or what I can explain to these people. How would they even listen to me? Right? Like, all these things come up, and not just for people. I'm not talking about folks who, just got into corporate yesterday and they're trying to figure it out. A client of mine actually had 20 years of experience as a corporate trainer, and she still faced these same setbacks, understanding and believing that there was a world where she could do the same thing she was doing inside of these companies, inside of the organization that she worked for, and do it on her own. Unlocking or getting clear on that is the key to everything. Because like I said, you can send an email, but most people won't, because those two things hold them back. So I want to break down some ways to unlock that block for you, and also move you into acquiring some of these clients your own in 2026. So first things first, a lot of people have this question around, well, don't they already have teams or people who, train? Don't they already have teams of people who, do professional development, leadership development, and all those things? Yes, they do. And they pay them a lot of money to be able to do that. And one thing I want everyone to know is that them working with you as a contractor, or, they become your client, is cheaper than them hiring an employee. Even if they even if you and them agree to a 5 or 6 figure contract, understand they are getting a steal just simply by working with you instead of paying benefits, retention, all of that other stuff that goes with hiring employees. With that knowledge, you have to come into the conversation understanding and commanding that you're adding value to them. This is a steal for them, and that your expertise and experience solves problems. I just want you to just think about that. Just go ahead and affirm that to yourself. Your experience solves problems. It already solved it for the organizations that you've worked for in the past. So what's the difference? The only thing holding you back is simply having the courage to step out, to do that, and to walk in the fullness of what you carry and what you hold for these organizations. So going back to the client that I talked about a moment ago, once she started to see the opportunities, once she started to have these conversations and not feel the pressure to figure out, well, what do I have to offer, and just have the conversation, knowing that you have a solution, but ultimately they know what their problem is. They know what they're looking for. And they're looking for someone who can be a thought partner, who can be an expert that is helping them get from point A to point B. That's it. And that's exactly what you did in your organizations in the past. That's your package. That's your offer. You are the offer. And that's why I'm so passionate about this work. And before I even started recording this, I just got this reigniting of why this is so important, because I want people like you to be able to walk into any room and be able to close a deal. I want you to feel like you could be in the room with a VP of a bank and they're like, hey, what do you do? And you're clear on how you could serve that organization as well. It's not about choosing one type of client over the other. It's about the autonomy. Remember Robin Givens? She was a boss. Whatever she wants, she could get it. And that's what I know that I'm here to unlock and show people how to do. Yes, I have the tactics and strategies and the steps, but I want to be the embodiment of the woman who is telling you and who is clear on what she has and what she offers and what benefit it provides to these organizations, and how to negotiate in order to get the opportunity that not just changes my business and my life, but also makes a change for those who are on the other side. There are people inside of organizations and companies right now that need your workshop, that need your training, that need your consulting, that need you to be talking to their managers so they can stop talking to them crazy. Like, all of that is so needed in this space that I can't let lack of knowledge and fear stop brilliant people like you from taking that next step. They absolutely need you. Okay? So what you're going to do is just simmer on that, right? It's no 1, 2, 3. This is not the how-to steps. This is really just me talking to you, girlfriend to girlfriend, saying, hey, stop limiting yourself to this only way of doing business. Start looking at what can the higher level opportunities be for you. And if you've gotten them before, maybe by referral, or, people have just shouted you out, that's great. It's time to put some gasoline on that. It's time to be proactive. It's time to get into the rooms, because going into 2026 is about scaling. It's about impact. And working with these corporations is a pathway to be able to scale that impact and, of course, income. All right, that's it for today's video. And if you are thinking, you sparked something in me, you said something that really landed with me in terms of what I want to do moving forward and what I see my 2026 like, and corporate clients is on my radar, tell me where to start. I've got something for you. I created a brand new assessment. Close to 30 people have already taken it, and they've gotten amazing results from answering a few short questions that I designed and responses that I designed that align with where you are in your corporate client journey. And I'm telling you exactly what steps you need to take forward in order to land your first or your next corporate client. It only takes 5 minutes to complete the assessment, and you get your report right after. And then you get your next steps to go on and implement. You also get the opportunity to book a call with us so that we can give you a debrief and give you even more customized strategy in how to move forward. This is so important to me because I'm tired of seeing, and no shade to these folks, I'm tired of seeing the same people taking up space with these corporations, the same profile of person, when I know that you on the other side of this camera are 10 times as brilliant, 10 times as engaging, and could be taking up space in this market. So if all it takes is for me to be here to let you know that and give you the steps to do that, that's what I want to do. And this assessment is step 1 in that process. So go ahead and click the link below, take the assessment. I cannot wait to see your results. And more than that, commit to yourself that you're going to take up some space in this market that is clearly untapped at this point, and start making your mark. All right, I'll see you on the next one.